going on, Jerome's Giants game was obviously great, but moving on, San Francisco 49ers tough-ass test week 2, historic U.S. Bank Stadium in the home opener. Kevin O'Connell fed the local media jackals before Wednesday practice and talked about practice. Had some thoughts and some things, and we got some translations. So first off, only one player dealing with injury as of right now. Addison isn't going to be at practice. He's going to be getting some treatment, but you know, like we said in an earlier video today, just hold him out until both ankles are healthy. All right. I have seen some jokes that his right ankle is his accelerator foot. So, yeah. But Addison, yeah. I mean, obviously Addison did great against San Francisco last year, but it is what it is, next man up. And it is important to note that he didn't mention Jalen Speedy Naylor dealing with any ankle soreness, as evidenced by him having a nice touchdown catch against the Giants. He could be the X factor because obviously San Francisco is going to sell out to try and stop Justin Jefferson with Travarius Ward, probably some safety help over the top. And Naylor could have himself a big-time day. But we'll see. Andrew Van Ginkel, so obviously him with the pick 6, and should have been NFC Defensive Player of the Week, but Tyreek Stevenson, even though I respect the U being the U, come on, man. But incidentally, he was one of the first targets that he personally looked at in free agency. Of course, a crossover with Flores, and then they got things together and they made it happen. Also, Van Ginkel's contract, it's a hell of a deal, man. We'll take that. Also talked about how Van Ginkel makes plays in so many ways, whether it's plays in the run, setting the edge, fill in the middle, blitzing, coverage, off the edge, lots of things. And he is a very versatile, 5-tool player, for lack of a better term. And he talked about how Van Ginkel is an extension of Flores out there on the field, because not only does he know his job, but he knows the entire job and the entire gestalt of what the offense is going to be doing against their defense, which is great. Also, he talked about the preparation where we pointed out at the time, like, Van Ginkel breaking off his rush, getting flat, and getting into that passing lane for the pick 6. Like, that's preparation, that's film study, that's a lot of things, man. And that's what Van Ginkel brings. Also, felt urgency from Darrisaw to be the best left tackle in the game. Loves that Darrisaw got rewarded with a contract, and also he loves even more that Darrisaw is still the same guy. Right, money's not going to change him. Shows up, still does the work, and still does the damn thing, and does his job. And Darrisaw should be one of the best left tackles in the game, and the Vikings were betting that he will be, and I think that bet's going to pay off. Also, speaking of paying off, Aaron Jones, great free agent signing coming over from the Greasy Grime Green Bay Packers, talked about how he had a bunch of success on a variety of runs, tight fit, bouncing outside for the touchdown, running gap, running outside zone. So Jones, also he talked about how Jones has that extra gear and that burst, just like right at the end, not going out of bounds. Like, I'm just going to try and hoover up every single yard I can. And at an earlier presser after the game, O'Connell talked about how Jones should and could be on a pitch count. Hopefully that will hold up because we need Aaron Jones fresh for that stretch run. Also, San Francisco 49ers. Opening things up, U.S. Bank Stadium. Violent in all phases. They're a tough physical team, and play style, default aggressive. Not only offense, but also defense and special teams. They're going to bring it. And O'Connell said something interesting where Shanahan's not really reinventing the wheel. Not his words, but paraphrasing here, because you know what they're going to run, and now it's like, hey, can you stop this? And that's the hallmark of a great team. It's like, Saban's Alabama teams, before they got to the spread offense. So basically, they're just like, hey, we're going to run straight at you. Good luck if you can stop this. That's basically about it, and that's what the Niners do. They just do it a lot better than most teams out there. Also, you do have to start fast against teams like San Francisco, otherwise it can spiral, as evidenced by the Jets, where the Niners got up, they scored on 8 straight possessions, and they just punched the Jets in the face over and over and over. They had no answer for Jordan and the San Francisco running game. So that's certainly something to keep in mind. Also, shout out linebacker Fred Warner, cornerback Travarius Ward, who's going to be probably shadowing Jefferson on Sunday, is one of the best of their respective positions in the National Football League. Absolutely. And also the Flores defense. So, yeah, he was asked about how tough it is to match up against a Flores-type defense, especially every day in practice and training camp. And it's tough because there's so many multiple looks. And that's something that we love, too, where, in a way, like going back to the whole Shanahan offense thing, like it's meat and potatoes, but good luck if you can stop it. That's kind of what it was with the Zimmer defense. Outside of third down where he got super creative, the double A-gap mug look and busting out and stuff. But Flores, it feels like Flores is going to have a different game plan for every single week, which would be ideal. Yeah. But maybe this week, the Vikings have less NASCAR package, and they have Redmond and LDR active, and the Vikings are a little bit heavier up front, and then they go that route. So something that I love, where as opposed to just rolling out the same defense, is like, we'll see. Also on the defense, Harrison Phillips getting that extension. I love to see that. Kevin O'Connell praised his consistent leadership. Also rest easy that he's going to be here for the next couple of years, because not only does Harrison Phillips do it in between the white lines, but he's so fantastic off the field in the community as well as a leader of this football team. Also mentioned how he loves seeing this team reward their own. And that's really good for the team culture and for the locker room too, because there's an unwritten rule where you don't talk about other players' money if you're a player, but everyone talks about it. Everyone gossips. And also the whole thing about it is that players know, like, if ownership and the team is doing a player wrong, sometimes that can matriculate down. Like, look at the Bengals right now. So they played hardball with Higgins. They're playing hardball with Jamar Chase. If you're someone else lesser on that team and you're just like, wow, they won't pay Jamar Chase, who's great, they won't pay T. Higgins, who's very good, what chance do I have at this team? But you look at the Vikings, where it's like, hey, if you show up, you do your job, the Vikings will take care of you. Whether it's Jefferson, whether it's Darrisaw, whether it's Josh Metellus last offseason, whether it's Harrison Phillips this year, like, hey, do your job, work your ass off, grind, and you'll get paid and rewarded here. Love to see that. Also, and Darnold obviously was back up with the San Francisco 49ers last year. Talked about how that plays into the game plan. So, I mean, it's not going to be a complete one for one, because even though there's a lot of broad strokes that are very similar with the Niners team this year versus last year, I mean, things change, calls change, etc. But things like, Darnold's gonna know, like, sitting in the quarterback rooms with Brock Purdy, it's like, what do you like in this spot? What are you looking for in this situation? If you're shown this, what are you looking for? Same thing with tendencies with Shanahan as well. He'll have an insider's view of that, but also, I mean, tape grinding will be able to tell you that too. But also, it works both ways. So, I mean, obviously Kyle Shanahan, Brock Purdy, they know Sam Darnold. Also, the Niners defense, generally practicing against Sam Darnold most days in practice, like, they'll know him as well. So I think that it works out as like a net neutral, basically. I think that we fans make a lot more of it as like, oh, he's telling state secrets. But either way, it's going to be a great game and a great test for the Vikings, because the Giants win got people's curiosity, but if and when the Vikings beat the 49ers, they'll have their attention. Yeah, but we'll see, man. But that's it. O'Connell's Wednesday presser, feeding local media jackals. Let us know our thoughts, your thoughts, our thoughts, everyone's thoughts. Skull production value.